Hi, everybody. It's Chuck Gilmore. This is Power to Sing Live number 172. Welcome to the show today. We're going to be talking about some exercises for mixed voice. And I'm going to give you some easy mixed voice exercises, or in other words, we're going to do mixed voice exercises made easy. How are you? I'm going to give you the agenda right now. Before I do, let me ask you, are you currently, or are you doing exercises for mixed voice right now? Do you feel like you can do the exercises for mixed voice? Let me know in the comments below. Yes, I am doing them, and yes, I can do them, or no, I'm a little uncertain about it, or no, I'm not doing them. Just let me know in the comments below. That will be great. So here's the agenda. We're going to go through this outline, and then I'm going to answer a million questions, whatever you might have. First of all, I'm going to talk about what is mixed, because some of you who may be joining us don't necessarily know exactly what mixed voice is. And it's a very, very powerful way to sing all kinds of genres of music. And so number one, what is mixed? Number two, what does it sound like? And I'm going to also show you what it doesn't sound like. And then number three, we're going to cover some exercises. And right now I've jotted down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 exercises here. And maybe some of these will be new to you. And then I'll take your questions, and I really want to get to those today. Let me just say quickly hi to Daniel. Hey, nice to have you here today, Daniel. I think you were like first in line today. Vic, hi, nice to have you. Joe, hello. Joe, you're so dedicated. Nice to have you back again today. Yapadios, hi. Daniel says, can I sing your praises quickly? Well, of course. And thank you again for T.W. Josh Groban songs I managed to sing today. Oh, for 2 Josh Groban songs I sang today that I've been wanting to sing since I was 17. I'm 34. Awesome, Daniel. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations. I do gay, 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 gay when I wake up and preparing for the day. And I remember, I remembered today that YouTube doesn't start the stream automatically. Yeah, I think you have to kind of like join or something. That's a good question. When people are going live, I usually just click on play and it picks it up wherever. Well, I just have to start. If I'm late, I start at the beginning, whatever that is, unless I can join midstream, which you can. Hey, Marty, nice to have you here today. Springtime, huh? Yeah, we're in the, I think right now it's like 45 or something down here, so that's nice. Glad you guys are getting a little bit of a thaw up there. Okay, so jumping into the agenda, what is mixed voice? And some people say mix. I sing with a mix, or can you sing with a mix? Are you in mix? The verbiage that I see on YouTube and online a lot is mixed voice. And so it implies a mixture of something. So you have to have at least 2 things, right, to mix in order to create a mix of something. And in this case, it's a mix of different areas of the voice. And for simplicity, it's the low voice, mixed with a high voice. Now, if you don't have high voice, this is hard to kind of imagine, especially the guys. Now, the ladies, for you, it is a mix of your chest voice and your head voice. It is those resonances, those vibrations blending together at the same time. And the reason why it's so powerful is that it tends to open the door to your head voice. In other words, if I were not able to get into my mixed voice, and then you would crack, or you have to yell and strain. So if I am if I am bridging or beginning the bridging process, which is another way of saying getting into your mix, now I could keep going. I don't change anything. Once I've gotten into the bridge, which is where the vibrations want to start to join together, if I can allow that situation to happen, then what else happens is now the upper area of my voice, which is head voice, opens up. It's as if if you don't, it's as if you hit a ceiling. And if you are able to begin that mixed process, it's almost like there's another door opening above you. The ceiling door opens up into another room above you. And so if you don't start to bridge, then you just hit the ceiling. You can't get any further without really yelling, and that will damage your vocal cords, or breaking into falsetto. So this is what mix does not sound like. So this is basically number 2. Although if I said what is mix, it's a blend of chest and head voice. And for today's discussion, we'll just talk about it in terms of it being in the bridge of the voice, the passaggio, the middle, Hi Anna, nice to have you here today. She said it's raining where she is. Oh, she's in, you must be another hemisphere. It's autumn. We're entering our spring. Are you in Australia? That's not mix. What am I doing? I'm pulling up chest. So I'm pulling up the bottom, but there's not anything vertically happening. There's no head voice starting to blend in with that. Why is that not happening? It's because my larynx is coming up and it's kind of squeezing everything off. So that is not mix. This is not mix. Now I'm in my falsetto voice, false voice, and there's nothing in the bottom, you see. I can't mix anything. There's nothing to mix. I only have this falsetto-y sound. And it's a disconnected tone. It's no longer associated with the bottom tone at all. You can hear that disassociation happen. And to get back in, I have to reassociate it or reconnect. I have to clunk back in. Those aren't mixes. So, what does mix sound like? Now, I'm going to slightly narrow to Look what would happen if I open it back up again. It cracks right there. I didn't even try and make it crack. It just cracked. As soon as I opened from to crack. And that's what we face, isn't it? When we're trying to learn how to sing higher and we keep cracking. Well, in this case, I open the vowel and the larynx comes up and it goes, breaks into falsetto. Now I can power my way through there and yell, but I yell a lot better than I used to when I was younger. When I was a teenager trying to do this, I didn't know. I just thought that the way you sang higher was to yell harder, and that was a horrible sound for me. I would always go flat. I would never, or I could, of course I could go into falsetto, but that doesn't work in my genre, and I like musical theater, so you can't be the leading guy on the stage and have the big finish. Or die. You know, if I'm singing Billy Bigelow and Carousel sings this big soliloquy and he ends up singing or die. Well, you can't say or die. The audience would die. So breaking it is not an option. Now you can get away with it in pop music and stuff like that, but you're leaving some things behind. When you do, there's a lot of overtone that drops out as soon as you go in the falsetto. So that's not mix, right? So what if I continue narrowing the vowel though? Now I'm up into my head voice. I have had one continuous tone the whole time. I narrowed the vowel slightly, and the head voice came in and mixed with chest. And so now through that bridge, E, F, F sharp, I'm mixing. And then when I hit G, I'm in the beginning of head voice for the guys. Nothing changes now. I don't have to make another switch. Ladies, it's the same thing for you. If I said, only bad things are going to happen. So that's my head voice, but for you it would be mostly mixed there, starting at the A4, B flat, B, and the C5. Those are all your mix notes in your bridge. And so just by narrowing the vowel, it allows that to begin to mix. If you open it, it spreads and just pull up chest. That's not mix, just pulling up the bottom. And falsetto's not mix. So you're cutting everything off from your chest voice. There's no longer any chest and there's no connection. So what does it sound like in an exercise? If I said, ma, 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 ma. That's mix. Or I could even say it kind of funny. Nay, 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 nay. Is that a finished sound? Is it a finished mix sound? No. But what is that? It's not pulled up chest. It's not falsetto. It's got to be a mix of something. So the larynx may be slightly elevated on that exaggerated nay, nay, nay. But what does it do for you when you're first learning how to mix? It builds your confidence. You suddenly realize that you can now get past that ceiling. The door opens. The ceiling door opens and you enter that next room. Now you know that there's something there. I didn't know there was anything there. I just thought there was just falsetto or yelling or straining at, once you hit that top. I found out that's not the top. That is your bridge, and I just had to learn how to keep my larynx down. And by keeping the larynx down, the vibrations can join together. That vibration of chest and head can start to blend together into a mix vibration. And then those overtones start to blend together. And then opens the door to head voice. All right, so let me give you a few exercises here, everyone. I've already given you a couple exercises. On the ah, this is maybe not something you would use to warm up with, but you can certainly use it to start practicing trying to get through the bridge. Do it softer. Ah to Now you could narrow it, instead of narrowing it from ah to like nook, go ah to ah to uh. Once you learn how to do it, you start to realize that it just happens naturally. If you're keeping the larynx down. It just narrows naturally. And I think it's because of the tone that's moving. So that tone tends to kind of angle back just by itself. You don't have to do anything. At first, you may have to go from to but just by doing that, that's going to allow that vibration to go up and hit more of that back of the soft palate at the top of your roof of your mouth, rather than hitting the hard palate. If I just keep that same vowel, it's just hitting the hard palate. I'm just hitting the bony part of my mouth. But if I at first start to narrow it from to now that resonance or the vibrations are getting it's getting through the soft palate around the top into the vibrations are getting into my nasopharynx, and it's a new world. There's life after chest. All right, that's an exercise you can use to try and help you find that feeling. Resist the temptation to get real tight and grip it and grab it. That's the hard part, right? Okay, now, if I said mum 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 mum, and put a little hum on the end. Mum 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 for the guys. Mum 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 mum. Mum 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 mum. Mum 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 mum. Notice I'm not saying ma'am. Ma'am, 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 ma'am. That'd be the chest, the larynx would be coming up. Keep it on that sound. Mum, 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 mum. Ladies, same thing for you. Mum, 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 mum. When you're first learning, especially, use that hum at the end. Mum, 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 mum. That will help you find that area in your bridge where you're getting the blend of your chest voice and your head voice. That little hum really helps keep things closed so that the vibrations stay where they're supposed to. At first, you want to use that hum. If not, it will tend to allow the larynx to go up by the vowel opening too much. Mum, 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 mum. But if I say mum, 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 it keeps it in the place where it keeps the vowel in such a place where the vibrations will begin to mix together. So it's kind of a slick little trick on the mum, especially at first. Once you get that 5-tone you can always do it on this one. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. Watch out, guys. This is the danger zone here. Mum, 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 mum. It's too easy to say mum, 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 mum right there on the E because we're so close to chest. it's easy to be pulled into that chest. Don't do it. Keep it on mum, and with an M, with a hum. Mum, 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 mum. Now the ladies, same thing. Start on the C sharp. It's the top of your bridge. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. Sorry. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. This answers the question, what does mix sound like? This is what mix sounds like. It's a blend of the chest and the head. Particularly today, we're talking about as it occurs in the bridge or the passaggio, bottom voice, top voice blended together. Mum, 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 mum. Ladies, that's yours. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you a couple others here, a couple other exercises. You've seen these before, but you've got to know these. You've got to do these to build your mixed voice. All right? For the guys, starting down low, the 1.5 scale. That's same thing for the ladies, only a fifth higher. Just a little tip on that is make a frown, put your fingers in your frown lines, and then lift up. You don't want to squeeze them together. You don't want to pull them apart or go too high, up here. Just right down below your cheek, below your lips, where you frown. Lift up. And leave your tongue resting right behind your lower teeth. Don't pull it back. Don't let it flop all around. And it helps even to say a little bit dumb. That's the ladies' octave. And so this is a really, really good exercise because it balances the air and the vocal cords really quickly. And also, so it allows the larynx to, it keeps the larynx from rising up. The larynx stays down because it's so closed up, creates a little back pressure and keeps the larynx down. The other thing it does is the vocal cords adjust. Now, you didn't hear it break, so you don't want to crack behind that. And if it starts to crack, it's because this has come up. Okay? So, you want to keep this a little bit dopey. If you say duh, you can feel your larynx pop, go down, duh. And you want it to be a little bit that way. Ran out of air. Just give yourself enough breath. Okay, so now the bubble lips is a standard. I mean, it's like it's your bread and butter. You've got to be able to do those. If you can't do a bubble, you're going to limit your ability to develop your voice. Another one is a good one. A lot of people struggle with this, but those of you who can do it, same thing on tongue trill. And do it with the ooh lips. Now, let me just say that these exercises, let me stop for a second and say a couple things. If you're doing exercises for mix right now, or you need to be doing exercises for mix right now, you can get these exercises on my website. The easiest thing to do is just because you want to get your exercises for your vocal type. If your vocal type is still pulled chest, high larynx, which is mine too, but if you're still working on those because you're trying to keep the larynx down, you're still working on a flip falsetto, so you're trying not to flip, or you're trying to get your voice stronger in the exercises for like light chest, no chest, vocal types. You want to be sure you're doing the exercises for your vocal type. So in the description below this video is a thing that says get your vocal type. It's a PDF. It takes you to links to the vocal test. It takes you to the links to videos to watch about your vocal type. It takes you to the links to the exercises for your vocal type. The exercises I'm showing you today, at least the bubble lip, the tongue trill, and the mums, are inside the exercises for your vocal type. You want to do the exercises for your vocal type first to get the condition, the coordination correct, and then you go ahead and move on to the mix exercises, which is the fourth vocal type. So there's videos about mix on that PDF, and and you watch those videos about mix. I demonstrate the exercises for you, and then you can download exercises like these for your mixed voice by just getting that PDF and clicking on the links, take you right to it. All right. Now, here's another one. We did this a few months ago on one of my videos on YouTube, and it's called Ming. Ming. Ming, 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 ming. It's ing with an M in front of it. Ming, 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 ming. Ming, 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 ming. Ming, 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 ming. Ming, 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 ming. Ming, 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 ming. Ladies. Ming, 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 ming. Ming, 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 ming. Ming, 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 ming. Ming, 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 ming. Ming, ming, ming. And it gets the resonance right up into your nasopharynx. And it's a great exercise because you can't spread a vowel. And so the ming, ming, ming is a tremendously powerful exercise, you guys. I'm getting a warning that my stream is not as strong as it needs to be. I hope that you're not getting interruptions in the broadcast. My broadcast software appears to be fine, but for some reason the YouTube is giving me a message saying the stream's current bit rate is not up to snuff. So, all right, next exercise. After ming, 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 we're going to do a couple more. We'll do, I'm going to do a variation on one exercise. I'm going to do 3 variations. The first exercise is this. Start out, this could be for the guys. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Now, once you're able to do those, okay, thank you. Give me feedback. The stream looks okay on your end. Thanks, Supanji. Thank you. Now, add a word to the new. I'm going to say new, 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 no, no, no. But listen carefully. I'm leaving the no in the same, it's going to follow into the same slot, the same spot. It's going to flow right into the new. New, 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 no, 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 no. Okay, so new, 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 no, no, no. If I did it wrong, it would sound like no, 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 no. You can hear how the no is falling down into my mouth. So now the vibration is not mixing. I'm going from no, 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 which is my mix of chest and head. No, 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 no. If I go to no and open the vowel up, it's just going to drop down. The vibration is going to, instead of being in two places, it's just going to no, 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 no. It's going to be right in here. So I've lost the mix. I want to keep the no right where the new felt. No, 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 no. It's a very, very powerful exercise. No, 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 no. Here's a tip. I'm giving away all my secrets. Don't change your lips. No, 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 no. And on the inside, just think no. Don't do much with your tongue. Just think no. No, 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 no. Because if I open it up slightly, no, 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 no. You can hear I've lost the mix. It just falls into my chest. Ladies, up here for you. Let's start on the high C. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Same thing. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, Anna, I remember who you are now. You do Elvis impressions. Hi. I'm sorry, I forgot. No, 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 no. Let me see. Well, this is the A flat. So your last mixed note is really right here. You can do it on the A flat though. No, you can pull the mix down. No, 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 no. All right. So now, add one more vowel to this exercise. So the first one is new, the second one is new, no, the third one, new, no, nuh. New, 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 no, 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 no. Sorry, nuh, like nook. New, 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 no, 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 no. New, 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 no, 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 no. New, 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 no, 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 no. That's the guys. That's the top of the bridge, and then the two notes before your next bridge. So I've got you at the top. You could go the other way. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. So you can go down as well. Same thing, ladies, on the top. Starting at the C sharp. No, 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 no. Don't open it up, because if you do, you'll lose your mix. No, 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 no. You got to stay right in the same place as the new. No, 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 Now, what happens if you do the new and it's just too tight? If that new feels like it's straining, it probably is. Do it this way for a second. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. Hear how hooty that sounds? Goo, 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 goo. The larynx is staying down. If the larynx is going up, I would say goo, 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 goo. Larynx pulled up. If I stay with that hooty sound, the larynx stays down. Goo, 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 goo. That's not falsetto. It's head voice. Goo, 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 goo. Ladies, if you're saying goo, 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 the X is coming up. And then you can't do the new released. Goo, 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 no. So if you're tight on new, goo, 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 no. Do goo, goo, goo to new. All right. That'll be $75, please. I'm just kidding. But this is a lot of free information that I'm just giving you. And I hope you're able to use this. Because when you start to feel this, a whole new world opens up to you. Oh my gosh, life is never the same. All right, so let me take your questions. Just to recap, we talked about what the mix is. We've talked about what it should sound like and what it shouldn't sound like. And then we talked some exercises here. And I think the thing to remember is on these exercises, you've got to make sure you don't open your mouth too wide, or you try and change it too much inside because you lose that flow from new to no. No, 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 and bring the mix down with you. No, 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 rather than no, 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 no. Don't slam in the chest. Stay with the mix and let the chest come in gradually by degrees, not all at once on like the first note after your mix. Bring the mix down. Okay, so let me back up a little bit here and get to some questions, because that's the end of my formal program. If you've got any questions about mix or other things here that we can cover, I will do that right now. And so it's great to see all of you guys here. Anna, I know that the rain down in Australia is good. I think all your fires are out, but thank goodness you've had some rain to finish off some of these fires down there. Okay, so Joe Weston says mixed voice has no break in it. Yes, that's exactly right. Daniel, hearing your coos my ego, cools my ego. I see. Hearing you cools my ego. I have so much to learn. Daniel, welcome to the club. We're all on this path of mastery, and mastery is a. I was thinking about this today. You know, you sometimes have people who call me or want to schedule a voice lesson, and they come in and they're here for a voice lesson because they've got an audition in 2 days. And I thought, would you ever say that to a piano teacher? Hi, I need a piano lesson. And you come in and you say, yeah, I've got a concert in 2 days. Could you help me get ready for that? It's a silly comparison, right? And yet that's really what we should be looking at with our voices. Our voice, we should be studying voice, not taking a voice lesson. So Daniel, you're studying voice, and it's coming, and you're making progress. Sunis, hey, Sunis Shining, nice to have you here today. No, bubble lips, my only weakness. So Daniel, if there's too much tension in your cheeks and your lips, if there's too much tension in the voice, if there's too much manipulation with the tongue and so forth, it's hard to do them. So try and isolate where there's tension. Make sure your fingers are placed where I showed today. Knuckles are good. Same thing. I find knuckles really good when I have a beard. With my beard, this area right here, if this gets thicker and heavier, my bottom lip stops. And so I have a really hard time doing bubble lips. I discovered that because one time I had chops and I didn't have this down here, and bubbles were no problem. So that might be, I don't know if you have a beard, Daniel, but Skoulos Mario Gov. Is this live? Yes, it is for the next 20 minutes. And if you're watching this tonight, it's not. How subtitles exist and how the subtitles exist and so fast. I don't know anything about subtitles, sorry. Stream looks good, thanks for that information. YouTube's voice recognition algorithm for subtitles. Stream looks okay. Who let the virus results? Wolf, wolf, wolf. And the lady is up here for you. I'll tell her. Okay, so I'm behind. I'm not getting that one. Thanks, Chuck, for all the lessons, the free information. Sure. I'm just kind of teasing about that, guys. I appreciate YouTubers who are generous, and there's some that I follow that are so generous, and I feel I'm very grateful to them, and I'm not talking about the vocal YouTubers. There's some others that I deal with, like social media and how to do YouTube and all that stuff. And I'll just shout out to Sunny and Leonard Doozy. She is so generous with her information. If you're wanting to learn about YouTube, go see Sunny. Look her up on here. Leonard Doozy. She's awesome. She's got a great course, and I'm thankful for what she does. James Wedmore is another one. Anyway, they're very generous with their information. I just got a warning that memory loss linked to this common prescription. Oh, thank goodness. I need that. I forget all the time. Okay. So you guys, let me see if I can jump in. Andrew Thuriet, thank you. I appreciate your consideration, and I'm happy to do it. Who let the virus out? It said good breath management keeps a low larynx. Okay, that's a handle. Who let the virus out? Wolfen. Okay, gotcha. It said good breath management keeps a low larynx, but many old school opera singers have super low larynx, which clearly isn't normal, and it's clearly been trained. Any advice on that? Yes. What a great question. Who let the virus out? Awesome question. Let me answer this, everybody. This is very, very important. Once the larynx is, we do this imposition of the larynx only in exercises. We don't use that when we sing. We may have to for a little while in practice until the larynx begins to stay down on its own. And it will. The larynx will come down. You'll start feeling what it feels like to sing the exercises and practice your songs with the larynx imposed a little bit. But you don't talk that way. Why would you just want to sing that way?
Or you don't talk like nay, nay, nay. You don't talk that way. Why would you want to sing that way?
You don't. These are just temporary tools. Who let the virus out? Thanks for this excellent question. And what you're hearing is overimposition of the larynx in their singing, and it sounds manipulated, and it sounds cluttered, and it's hard to understand words. Of course, I don't. Most of the time, they're singing in another language anyway, another language from mine. So, great question. When the larynx begins to stay down on its own, discontinue the low larynx. Now, you can always do them in exercises, but you don't sing that way. You don't. I don't. I don't want to sing anything like that. And the same thing with nay, nay, nay. Both of those are temporary. Best question of the day. Thank you so much. Daniel says, I did have a beard. I actually shaved a couple days ago. Just tried bubble lips again. It was a whole lot easier. Yay. Okay, Daniel. Yep, it's a discovery that I made. Just a joke, Chuck. Up here, how tall? Yeah. Okay, so anyway, Yapadios, thanks for everything. Every time I learn something new. Great. I voted in the States. We're having Super Tuesday today, and I submitted my vote by mail last week. So I get to relax today and just watch the things come in. Okay, so I see no more questions here. Are there any other questions that you would like to ask today? We've got the time, and I can address this if you would like to. Interestingly enough, it looks like my YouTube monitor, my picture of my monitor is frozen, so I hope that I'm not frozen. Now it says my connection is excellent, but my picture's froze. That's kind of strange, huh? Okay. All right. I don't know what that picture is. It's me at the beginning of the broadcast. Okay. Other questions that I can address for you guys today? Anything about mix? anything else about voice that you would like to address? All right. If there are no other questions, we'll end the broadcast. Okay. Thanks, Joe. Now it's unfrozen. Anyway, as long as the broadcast has maintained its integrity, I'm glad that it hasn't been interrupted. This mix is very powerful because it takes the pressure off the voice, and I think without hesitation or reservation, I think that it also sounds better. I think that the mixed voice has a quality about it that represents to me artistry and beauty, in every genre. And so, I feel very strongly about this because by learning this, I increased my range by over an octave. And it just opened every door for me, both in musical theater and in teaching and and just generally in singing. So, thanks, Wolfen. I appreciate that exercise, that question you had. So thank you very much. Okay. If it was frozen with a beard like that, okay. Okay, good. All right, much appreciated, you guys. Daniel, thank you. And all who have joined us today, thank you very much. I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live. Sharm's got a question here. What does mix feel like? Does mix feel like the NG sound? Mix in terms of connection, Sharm. So notice what happens with the connected tone. Ming, 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 ming. Ming, 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 ming. Sorry. Ming, 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 ming. Or I could just sit on the ing. If you can't do that with your regular, that's not mix. So you can start to get the feel of it with that NG sound. And so in terms of connected tone and in the adjustment of the vocal cords, it's closer. You do have to get to vowels and words because you have to do it slightly differently. You have to do it under different conditions. Now you've got air, and now the resonance is down in the mouth instead of up in the nasopharynx, and so you've got to. But it's the beginning. If you can't get it any other way, if you can't feel it in any other way, it's a real great exercise to begin to feel what it feels like. Maurizio, Caputo says, "Hi, I want to thank you for your terrific teaching. By doing the specific exercises for my vocal type and your 3 powers to sing exercises from chest to head, my life as a singer changed." Hey, you know what? That is awesome. Maurizio, sometimes you wonder, as a teacher, I teach people here in live, and I teach them on Skype live, but sometimes I wonder, is online helping? Are watching videos helping? And this is very, very helpful for me. Yeah. You guys might be interested to know, you guys, I am going to be opening Singers Impact again. It's my membership site. And it's been going now for about 1.5 years. I haven't opened it since then. And it's been a learning process. I'm starting to understand what it takes to be able to support an online group of people. And one of the things I'm going to be doing, once a week, I'm going to be doing this kind of thing with them. And there's also like 6 courses inside Singers Impact. So just keep your eyes peeled. I'll be sending out some information on it in the next couple weeks. And I'll open it back up again to rejoin. And I think it will provide. So Mauricio, you encourage me because sometimes I feel like the only way to have an impact is with a live, person-to-person lesson on Skype or in my studio. And I'm gratified to know that even this venue here. I mean, just being able to answer your questions, interact with you, and then for you to see the other videos is helping. So thank you. Joe says I can sing higher, but still have that pesky break. Joe, it's spelled Larnyx, larynx. It's the larynx that comes up. I promise you. Do the exercise with goo. Goo, 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 goo. Do it firmly, but don't grab it. Goo, 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 goo. Don't squeeze it. Goo, 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 goo. Once you get that kind of freedom and that larynx is staying resting like that, I believe your break, that pesky break, will go away. D-Mental Productions, you are truly profound. Thank you so much for insight. Thank you. I appreciate that, D-Mental. Supan G, thank you so much for the broadcast. See you next time. Thanks, Charm. Yes, I hear that. It sounds comfortable. You're welcome, Charm. Stravos, are there many opinions about support online? There are so many opinions about support online. What's your opinion about support and how we achieve it and how it should feel? Yes, there are, and I'm going to put support in the context of breathing and breath control and breath management. There are some techniques and some teachers who feel that breathing is number one. I think it's about number 3 or 4. I just came from like a 3 to 4 day, actually a 4-day session with some other teachers, and we were going through some training together. And I think it's a red herring. I think it takes people off what the real problem is. The real problem is the larynx is rising. The real problem is they're losing the larynx. It's not staying at speech level. It's going too high. Most of the time. Someone said today, and this is true, that some of the operatic people impose the larynx down too far. But there's no reason why we want to do that. We want to be able to sing like we speak. But, and I'll just quote Mr. Riggs, Seth Riggs. I've heard him say to me and to groups of people, he had some amazing singers who were lousy breathers. And he had some amazing breathers that weren't that hot of singers. So the larynx position and the condition of the balance of the vocal cords with the air from the lungs are the 2 places I would always begin when I teach. Now, if it's very apparent that the student is only breathing shallow with a high breath, and it happens, but you can see their neck get tight, you can see the shoulders go up, and what happens as soon as the shoulders go up? Put your hands on your neck, and you feel how the muscles tense up. We got to change that kind of breathing. So there are instances where it needs to be addressed and addressed immediately, but basically I think that after the larynx is resting and not going up all the time into swallowing mode, and the vocal cords are finding that balance of air and muscle, then comes some discussion about breathing. And it is helpful, yes. And it is important, yes. But I don't think it is the end-all, do-all, be-all of singing. After all, I have enough air to talk. And so, you know, it shouldn't be that much further ahead for singing. Anyway, that's my answer. I don't mean to be snarky about it, but I think it's overdone from time to time. And I have people come in and say, oh, I have bad breathing, you know. And it's not their breathing, it's their vocal cords aren't coming together. And they're so breathy that they can't keep the air in, they can't keep enough air in to sing very long, and so they run out of breath. So they think they've got a breathing problem. Nope, they got a vocal cord problem. The vocal cords aren't coming together firmly. So, okay. I like this question, Stravos. Okay, so let me see. Who support equals not force? Yeah, we're not talking about jamming air up for sure. So in a very simple fashion, it would be like I pretend like there's a balloon here. It's not, but pretend like there's a balloon down here in the tummy. Breathe through your nose. Fill that balloon up with air, and then as you're using your air, ma 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 ma. You keep it left. You pull that in. You leave it there, and then when you're ready to reload your air, you do it again. Okay, that's about all you need to do. You don't want to pull it in real hard. It's helpful to pull it in quickly when you're jumping maybe an octave. Like if you want to sing ma 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 ma, I'll pull my tummy in a little bit just to have some air. My chords can lean against that air flow. But I think it's fundamentally a pretty simple thing. I don't deal with the expansion of ribs and all the other stuff. The larynx or the diaphragm will take care of all that. That's my very simplistic approach. Okay, so let me just get this interesting point about force. I always feel like I should be pushing from my diaphragm when singing, but it feels forced. Yeah, you know, in reality, Charm, it takes less air to sing high notes because the chords are pulled thin as the tension is pulling them longer. It takes less air for them to function, and so we tend to get that reversed, and we push a lot of air to the top, and that usually means we end up tightening up. We don't have to do that. It's best to do less air as you sing higher. So, but you want that continuous flow of air, but it doesn't have to be jammed in. How do we know if we're releasing the right amount of air when we sing? I also think for support of the stomach should be relaxed and focused on the airflow. Yeah. So if I just relax, if I stand up and I start with my tummy kind of pulled in, and I just relax and let my tummy drop, air goes in. I don't even really have to take a breath. The diaphragm drops, the tummy comes out, or in this case you could say the balloon opens up and pulls air in. It creates a vacuum and air refills into the lung. I don't have to take a breath. And so it's a very simple process. And pretend like there's a little string tied to the back of your belly button, and you're just pulling it in gently. It's not a rope behind the belly button. You're going, you're not doing that. Too much tension. It's just a steady, you almost don't even have, the diaphragm's going back up, and the tummy goes back in by itself. I add just a little bit to it sometimes because of the phrasing and so forth, that I'm using more air than I do when I speak and so forth on some things that I sing. Okay, so what is a good transition? All right, let me back up here because now I've got lots of questions coming, and I'm going to have to quit actually because we're getting close to the top of the hour. Sharm, interesting point about force. Okay, we read that. What's a good exercise to transition between registers? If we define registers as chest voice and middle voice or mixed voice, middle is like the bridge area, and a register would be head voice. What's a good transition? I want to simplify it a little bit and say, what's a good transition between chest and head? And the exercises we did today for mix are perfect for that. But really, really good one is nay, 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 or gee, 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 gee is a great exercise to transition between registers. You want to keep the larynx down, and that's what the gee, gee, gee does. You want to keep the connected tone That's what the nay, nay, nay will also do on the nay, nay, nay. Those are both temporary exercises to establish the connection between registers or between chest and head. Who let the virus out? Them says, Sharm, how's your breath management? Learning to breathe in the lower back and not leaking air. Saying tissue paper, practicing them more. It's only useful for opera singers. Again, that's more words that I've ever used talking about singing before. I think it's simple, guys. Never had singing lessons before, but I've been singing for a very long time. It's not my job, so it's hard to know if it's bad habits or not. Good point, Sharm. Usually it's effortless. I mean, when you're doing it right, there's no strain and stress, and the pitch is good, and you've got adequate air supply, and so you want to kind of look at it in terms of like, does it feel like I speak? Is it as natural and easy as that? And if it is, you're probably doing really well. Stravos, how can I change my tendency to contract my abs when singing? First step, be aware that you're doing it. And congratulations, you become aware of it. The second thing is that you can think a little bit lower, okay? Think below the belly button. Don't think below the ribs. Think below the belly button. And let that be just something that you pull in. You just pull it in with a little string. You're not tightening your abs and jerking a big rope. It's not that. I would say probably a good way to practice that is just to, again, fill up that tummy, that balloon with air, and just practice it this way. You don't have to over tighten your abs to do that. You just gradually, that belly button's coming back in. Pull it in with your little string behind your belly button, imaginary string, and just keep that steady. Just keep the steady flow of air. I think of it like this, and then I got to go. I think of it like when I'm singing, and I pretend like I don't even think this anymore because I don't need it. But at first, it was helpful for me to think about a truck, a big truck that I'm behind, and I'm pushing a truck down the highway or down the road with my air. And so I have to say, ma, 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 ma. I have to maintain kind of a constant leaning against the back of that truck to keep it moving. So just that visual helped me. That's nothing official, but it helped me to just kind of feel that. Okay, so let me catch up here a couple things here. How can I change my tendency? Okay, on the abs, yeah. Being aware first, and secondly, just it will almost do it by itself, bringing that thing back in, the tummy back in. It's a nightmare with breath management being a smoker and having a bass low voice, opposite of less air for high voice. Yeah, breath management is I'd be more concerned about the what's happening to the vocal cords. The vocal cords will dry out, and it'll eat away the lining of the vocal folds, which it's a mucosal lining. It's a moist and very, very thin lining, and once that's worn, then you start losing quality in your voice. And somebody said to me one time, if you want to see what your vocal cords look like with smoke going by them all the time, just go look at a meat house and see what happens when they smoke the meat. It just gets it's kind of like smoked meat. Okay, Sharm says, thank you for answering questions. Yep. Goodbye, everybody. Let me see. Everybody's saying hello, goodbye, and I'm going to take off too. Hi, what the diaphragm do when we breathe out? The diaphragm drops and the tummy comes out. push the air in with our lungs. Nope. It fills a vacuum. It creates a vacuum. So it creates a space in the lungs. So now there's a space, and it pulls the air in. There's a discrepancy between the air pressure inside the lungs now and out here. So it will just fill in. So you don't have to take a breath. The air rushes in to fill where the diaphragm dropped. It'll pull the air in. I mean, what is the function of the diaphragm? That's what it is. And you don't have to even think about this. You breathe with the diaphragm 24 hours a day. When you're asleep, that's what's moving in and out, is your diaphragm. It's not your lungs up and down. What is the role of the passaggio? It's a passageway, a place where a transition occurs between the chest voice as it travels, the vibrations of chest as it travels up into head, and that is the passaggio. It's where the head voice starts to come in, and they start blending together, the chest and the head, in the passaggio. Thanks for the thing today. Let me see. Chuck, I understand that pulling or jerking in your belly button to practice lower back breathing when breathing in, but then releasing is the way to go. Releasing is, thus not tense abdomen. Yeah, so it's almost like it just happens when you sing. If I pull my air in here, and then I'm just talking, as I use my air, it really almost comes back in by itself. I don't have to do much. If I'm singing, I might add a little bit, because I want the air to kind of lean against my cords a little bit more, but I'll just gently, just like a little string, kind of helping it back in. Then when I reload, it comes back out. Oh, hi, Nikunj Vaibhav. Sir, I'm the biggest fan of yours from India. Thanks for joining us. Let me see, it's about 2:30 a.m. over there, right? Or 4 a.m., I can't remember. 4 a.m., it's about 4:30 or something, or 3:30. You're up late. Thanks for being here. What are the top 5 things you should know to sound good? What are the top 5 things you have to know to be good, to sound like a good singer? Well, I probably will just say there's only a few things. If you can transition from your chest voice to your head voice through the bridge, that's gonna be huge. That's gonna make all the difference. So going from low to high without a break, that's the going through the bridge. That's called mixing through the bridge. That's, I think, the number one thing. Then you want to be able to do it with vibrato. And if you can do those two things, you're in the top 95% of all singers in the world. Stravos, Tobas. Many singers say that the belly should not move, to be stable like the feet of the table pulled in. I think they're wrong. Let me see. Gosh, where am I here? Thinking below the belly button with breathing. I've seen a video of a professional opera saying, if you release your PC muscles, can that help with breathing? I don't know. I've never I don't know how to release a PC muscle, or a peeing muscle. I don't really know how to do that. All I do is just relax and let the tummy drop. But you could pretend like there's a balloon down there. Breathe through your nose. As you fill up, your tummy, the balloon fills, and then just pull it back in again as you're using your air. I got to go, you guys. These are all great questions. Thanks for joining me today. We're into our 70th, almost our 70th minute now, and so let's see, Dust Composer. Wow, the most simplest explanation. You're welcome. Apagio, I'm not sure. Apagio. Stravos, I'm drawing a blank. Are you talking about? I can't remember what that is. Anyway, got to go, you guys. Thank you very much. And please come back again. We do the same time every week at the top of the previous hour. I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live. You can sing higher with beauty, confidence, and power. I'll see you next time.